Hi guys, it is Monday morning here in New Zealand and you seem to enjoy the vlog that I did the other day, the one where I went up to Auckland and went to the Chanel lunch. So today I thought I'm going to put on some makeup for you as well, but I thought I would start off here in the kitchen. I want to show you just a couple of PR items that I've received. I have received more than that, but I don't want to sit down and just do one whole video of it. It can get a little bit tedious for some people. I have got my morning coffee. This is my second one for the morning and I have really strong espresso. I make it sort of like a cappuccino, but it is really strong. And since I am going to be putting on a little bit of makeup for you, I'm going to put on some more sunscreen. I did my skincare about 2 or 3 hours ago now because I get up really early in the morning, usually about 5:30. And I do say to you in videos, I have put on sunscreen about 10 or 15 minutes before I do my video, the next lot of sunscreen. So I'm going to do that now. And of course, this is the Canmake one. I absolutely love it. But I have been sent, I haven't got it today to show you for PR, but Fluorescence has sent me, they also do an SPF as well. So I'm really excited to try that one out and see what that one is like. But this one, at this stage, is still a firm favorite. It's really just like a moisturizer and it always sits really well under my primers and my foundations as well. So I also tap a little bit under my eyes over the top as well. And I just let that sit. And after I've put on my makeup, I will show you a little bit of the farm that I live in because I've got a whole lot of new subscribers over the past year or so. And I think it might have been probably quite a while ago now that I've showed people a little bit of our property. So I thought I'll do that again today. I'm not going to show it all to you, but I might show you down below the property. We have 2 Highland cows. They are Blossom and Tinkerbell. And if they are in a paddock that's more close by, when I get down to the bottom of the property, I will show you them as well. We're having issues with them because they are really naughty. They're breaking down fences. They had jumped over another fence. They're also breaking gates that we've got. So we've had to reinforce everything. We got someone in to re-fence part of our fencing as well. They just want to get to the next bit. They really do think that the grass is greener on the other side and want to break into where our garden is as well. So my husband's working on that. But what Blossom does, she is the troublemaker. She is the smaller of the 2 Highlands. And what she does is she gets her butt right against the gate, the wooden gate. I'll show it to you when I'm down there. And she pushes against it and rubs. They like rubbing their heads and their butts and their bodies on things just to have a really good itch. But she gets right into the gate, and I think she does it on purpose, knows that that can break the gate or make an opening, and it's always Blossom that starts it. She breaks in, and then of course Tinkerbell follows her as well. But anyway, I'll show you those 2 if I can. Like I said, if they're in the closer paddock, sometimes they go up the hill and it's a bit hard to see them, but we'll see once I get down there. It's warmer today and now the leaves are coming out. We've got this huge oak tree down there, and usually more towards the late morning, middle of the day, they tend to sit under there. So hopefully that's where they'll be. So first of all, I'm just going to show you a couple of items that I got in PR. The first is from RMS, and I've got a blush of theirs and also a bronzer, which I really like. So they've sent me, it's the Sun Cover Up. This is the Super Tint, and this is SPF 50. Now, I have already tried this out. I got this in the shade Cameo, and that is a really good match for me. Now, because I have oily skin, I think this gives a really lovely coverage. It is sheer because it is a tint. I'll just hold the bottle up for you as well. That's what it looks like. Pull off lid and a pump dispenser. And I think it comes with the typical, yeah, it does have the 30 mils of product in it. Now this is quite a glowy type of foundation. So for me, this will be more suited with my oily skin because I really like the finish that it gives, but more suited in those cooler months. Today it is spring here now in New Zealand, and it's going to be quite warm, and this would just be a little bit too glowy for me, and certainly far too glowy in the warmer when it gets really hot during those summer months as well. But for autumn, winter and early spring, this is really lovely. And as I said, I have tried it. I think it gives a really lovely finish. I'm not going to wear it today because, as I said, it's going to be warmer today, and I think it wouldn't last that well on my skin. So when I first tried it, because I received this PR, it was probably about 3 weeks ago now, and there were a couple of cooler days. So one of those days I did decide to use it, and I thought it looked really lovely. But because you get to know your skin and different foundation types, and because this one has that really dewy, glowy finish, I just know it's not going to last during those warmer months with my oily skin. But if you have normal to dry skin, that is definitely worth a try because it is really lovely. And they also sent me, this is the Hydra Setting Powder, and this is in the shade Light. This is really lovely. I've also tried this as well. This gives a really lovely finish. It has a screw-off lid, and then it has a little puff inside if that's what you want to use. And then it also has a protective cap, which I really like, because with a lot of loose powders I often talk about that if I go out for the day I take a pressed powder with me, because loose powders can tend to be quite messy, and even if you're traveling, whereas this keeps it all nice and tidy. And then you just lift up the cap, and there's the powder inside, and you just give it a shake. It dispenses some powder. I haven't used the puff to put this on. I've used this with a brush. I think this is a lovely powder, and it gives a really beautiful finish. I've used it with a couple of foundations and thought it looked really, really pretty. But I'll update you in the future and just let you know how this wears with some of the other foundations that I've got as well. But at this stage, it goes on beautifully, and it also gives a silky, just really soft look to the skin. It is a really, really lovely powder. And then I also received some items from Elemis. Now, those of you that have watched some of my other videos know that I do use Elemis skincare, and in particular I do love their cleansing balm. And at the moment I've got 3 cleansing balms open, and I go through them in rotation, just depending on which one I want to use that evening, because I always double cleanse at night. So I've got the Elemis one open, and that is just about finished. I may get one more use out of it. We'll see how it goes, and I do have another one in this PR package, so that is great because I love that cleansing balm. It is highly fragranced, those of you that haven't tried Elemis products before, but it just smells like it's a beautiful spa experience, and it's really good at taking off the makeup. It does leave sort of an oily base. That's why I always double cleanse anyway. So after I've used a balm, then I always go in with a cleanser. So this is the little card that they sent me, and it says, please enjoy with our compliments, and Katie on the back there. And here is the packaging that it came in. It looks really lovely, and there are 3 items in here. I'll just hold it up first so you can take a look. So that's how it came. So we have the Pro Collagen, the cleansing balm. That's the one that I was just talking to you about, and I've nearly finished my other one, so I'll be opening this up and putting that in my bathroom, because as I said, I think I may get one more use out of the little bit that I've got left, but we'll see. Otherwise, now I've got the spare one, which is just fantastic. They've also sent me the Pro Collagen Marine Cream. This says it's anti-wrinkle hydrating day cream. So I haven't taken this one out of the packet yet, so we'll take it out and have a look. And this is what that looks like. It's got a slight blue tinge as well. And this has 50 ml of product, and the direction says apply every morning to cleanse dry skin. Now, for me, with my oily skin, especially now since it's warmer, this one may be more suited for me in the evening, just because they say a moisturizer is for the day. You don't need to use it in the day. I think if you had normal to dry skin, then definitely something like this, if it says use it in the morning, use it in the morning. But often I use, it could be a more heavier type of cream. I'll just have to see what the consistency is like, and if it is more heavier, then I'll use this in the evenings. I'm just going to open it up and we'll see what it looks like. So that is the consistency of it, And the cream itself hasn't got that blue tinge, it's just the colour of the container. I've taken out quite a bit, so I'm just going to put just a little bit. I'll put some on my other hand as well, otherwise it'll be too much. So I'm just going to rub that in now. So this is fragrance. It smells really beautiful though. It's got a very fresh type of smell. It's not citrusy. When they say it's a marine cream, it does sort of have that fresh type of marine smell. It smells really nice. Now, I don't think this cream is too thick. It may be though, as I see it in the mornings with my oily skin during the warmer months, because I also use my sunscreen, which is really moisturizing as well, and I wear sunscreen every single day. But it does feel really, really beautiful. And I'm going to try this one in the evenings, but it really feels very, very hydrating. So I will use that, but as I said, I'll probably be using that one at night. And when I try out skincare products, I like to use them for at least 6 weeks to 8 weeks, because I think the cell turnover on our skin is every 4 to 6 weeks. So if I get 6 weeks use, I mean preferably really 3 months use, and then that's 3 cycles of your skin cells turning over, then you really get to know what a product is like. Of course, unless you have a reaction to it, and you'll know straight away, and then I would discontinue using it. But my skin is actually quite robust and it can put up with a lot. Now they've also sent me the Elemis, these are the Dynamic Resurfing facial pads. I love using facial pads. I've used a couple of different brands. At the moment I'm using the Dr. Dennis Gross ones. I don't use them every night. I use them about once or twice a week, and they are fantastic. So I'm really pleased I've included these. So once again, these are something that I'd be able to test for a shorter period of time and let you know how they go. I'd probably try them out for 2 or 3 weeks, using them probably a couple of times a week, and let you know what they're like. But definitely excited to try these. I love using this type of product. So those are some of the things that I have received in PR. So thank you to Elemis and also to RMS for those beautiful goodies, and also thank you to you, my subscribers, because if it wasn't for you with my subscriber count and also engaging with my channel and also over on Instagram, I wouldn't receive any of these goods. So thank you very much for being my very loyal subscribers. So now I'm just going to finish my coffee, and then I'm going to move into my beauty room. I may use the normal camera that I use, or I may try this one as well. I tried doing a video on this smaller camera in my beauty room the other day, and I had a weird type of green tinge, but I've gone into the white balance now, and I think hopefully I've sorted it out a bit, and if it looks okay, then I'll probably just film on this camera, so you'll see a different background view in my beauty room as well. So for my eyeshadow today, I thought I would use, this is the new Bobbi Brown. This is the Smokey Gleam, the eyeshadow palette. I haven't purchased a Bobbi Brown eyeshadow in quite a while, and I always know that they're going to perform really beautifully, and they really go with my everyday type of makeup, and I thought that palette looked really pretty. I also picked up, it's the Longwear Cream Shadow Stick, and this is in the one Ice, and I thought that might look quite pretty in the inner corner. First of all, I'm going to put on primer, and if you watched my vlog the other day, you know that I picked up, it's the Sublimage. This is the primer. So beautiful. And yesterday I was going to use it, and I ended up not wearing any makeup at all. I hardly ever go without wearing makeup, but yesterday I started doing a little bit of housework, and then before I knew it, it got to lunchtime, and I was like, no, I think I'll just leave it for the day. Probably every now and then it's probably quite good to go without makeup. So this is what it looks like. It is in this brushed gold, and then it has the twists up there, and I'll just pop a little bit on the back, and I'll pop some on the back of my hand to show you. So that is the consistency of it. Now, so far, I've only tried this on the back of my hand. I haven't tried it on my face yet. But when I did try it on the back of my hand, it just felt silky smooth after about a minute of putting it on. I mentioned in my other vlog that I didn't think it would suit my oily skin, but it sets down to this really, really beautiful velvet. And it has a little bit of illumination in it, but it is quite subtle. So you could also use this as a little bit of highlight on your cheekbones as well. Now this is fragranced. It smells like the typical, from the typical Sublimage line. I really like that fragrance, but just so you're aware. Now this is a fairly pricey product, as well as what comes in this. There's also 2 refills as well. So altogether you get, it is 45 mils of product, so you get quite a bit. It feels so nice, so nice going on. It feels really, really beautiful. So I'm going to put it all over my face. I wouldn't say this is a mattifying primer, but it definitely, once it sets down, has this beautiful velvet smoothing effect. I think it is gorgeous. I'm not sure whether you'll be able to, I'm just looking in the monitor of my camera. I wonder if you can see that it is giving just that very subtle illumination. So I'm just going to let this sit for a minute or 2 and then I'll put on my foundation. So that's been on now probably for about 3 minutes and my skin just feels really beautiful, and it just has that gorgeous, as I was saying, that velvet finish. And it also, by the looks of it, I'm just looking in my side mirror here, it looks like it has a little bit of a blurring effect as well. Now today I'm going to use the Prairie foundation. I have this one as well as the cushion one as well, and I just love this. Again, this is a fairly pricey product, but it is really beautiful. So all I've got, instead of having my normal mirror in front of me there, all I've got is the camera monitor. So I'm just going to grab my LED mirror and I'll use that to put the foundation on, just so I can see what I'm doing. But this is a beautiful foundation, and as I was saying, it is pricey, but it is absolutely beautiful. And the one in the cushion I took with me when I went overseas last year. It always just makes your skin look really, really beautiful, this foundation. And then I'm just going to pop some on the other side as well. Again, I'm just looking in my monitor. I'm not quite sure. It's hard to see how much I'm putting on. Now this foundation is also buildable as well, so you can make it sheer if you want to, or you can build it up to its near full coverage. It would be definitely a solid medium type of coverage, but since it's warmer weather now, I just want to put on not a sheer coverage, but just a light medium type of coverage. And I think with that Chanel Sublimage primer underneath, it's given it just a very subtle, really subtle glow as well, but it doesn't feel greasy. I think it looks really beautiful. So that's a really lovely combination. So I have a feeling that that Chanel Sublimage, the primer, is going to go really well under all of my foundations. I'm certainly not having any issues with it, and it went beautifully over my sunscreen as well. And for concealer, I'm actually going to use the concealer that comes with this foundation. There's actually a little mirror in here, so I'll be able to use that. And I'm just going to pop some in under here. This is a creamy type of texture, and I think this concealer gives really great coverage. So I've put on some eyeshadow primer, also done my eyebrows and powdered the rest of my face as well. And as usual, everything that I'm putting on my face today will be listed and linked in the description box below. For bronzer, I'm going to use the Chantecaille one. This is the one real bronze, and this is in the shade. This one is Sunstone. This is a really beautiful bronzer. I didn't purchase it that long ago. I didn't buy it when it was first released, but it was probably about maybe 6 weeks ago now, maybe 2 months, I'm not sure, that I decided to pick it up, and I really like it. I think it gives a very natural type of bronze and very user friendly, and it gives just a really gorgeous, just a very beautiful natural sun-kissed type of look. I've used it quite a lot since I got it. I've actually bought quite a few bronzers this year. So now let's take a look at this Bobbi Brown, the Smokey Gleam palette. I was just having a look on the side of the box here, and it says the palette includes metallic eyeshadow in Sugar Crystal and matte eyeshadow in Ivory, Blushing Rose, Truffle and Midnight Plum. It is a really gorgeous colour story, this one, I think, and the packaging is really beautiful as well. So that is the packaging, and I always think that Bobbi Brown, it is more luxury makeup, but I think it's always at quite a good price point as well. And especially for you guys over in the US, you always seem to have quite a few sales, and also that includes the Bobbi Brown as well. So I'll find the different stores that have this and link it below for you if you're interested in this palette. So it has a generous mirror inside there, and here is the color story. This is just beautiful. Really beautiful, easy, everyday type of makeup palette. It's really gorgeous. And because there's that one metallic shade there, you could just use the mattes if you wanted to, but then you can also go a little bit glam using that metallic shade. So I will use the metallic shade today, but first of all, I'm just going to swatch it on the back of my hand. So here it is all swatched. Absolutely beautiful. I love the truffles in there and the deep plum. You've got a little bit of pink as well. It's really, really gorgeous. So I'm going to take the Sony G. This is the classic crease brush, and I'm going to go into this shade here. This is, I think this one they called Ivory shade. I may as well just put this just all over my lid. Has a little bit of kick up as well, and that's usually because they have been very finely milled. And as usual, there's no surprises. It blends really lovely. And from the swatches, it looks like there's going to be a decent amount of pigment as well. Next, I'm going to take the Refer number 14, and I'm going to go into this shade here up the top. And I'm going to put this through the crease and just take it up onto the brow bone as well. I'm going to take the Sony G. This is the pencil one. I'm just going to stay with that shade, and I'm going to run this under my lower lash line as well. Now I've just wiped down the classic crease brush. Now I'm going to go into this shade here, and I'm going to put this one all over my lid. And that is a really beautiful pink shade. It's like a dusty rose. It's really pretty. Going back with my Refer 14, I've just wiped it down, and now I'm going to go into this plum shade here, and I'm going to put this in the outer corner. Now I'm going to stay with that shade, and I'm going to put a little bit of that, this one here, and put a little bit of that on my lower lash line as well. Just in the outer third. I'm going to take the Refer number 28, and I'm going to go into this really beautiful metallic shade, and just going to put that over the rest of my lid. That is really, really pretty. Just going to go over it again. Now if I wet my brush, you could probably get even more of that metallic through, but since this is just for my day look, I'm very happy with how that looks. Or you could even use your finger as well. But just with the dry brush and it going on, it's looking really pretty. And I'm also just going to put a little bit of that just up through here. I also think this would look really beautiful in the inner corner, but I'm going to use the shadow stick as well today. I'm just taking the Refer 13. I'm going to go back into this shade here. I just want to add a little bit more depth just in the outer corner. So I'm just going to just stamp that in. And then on the other side, and then I'll just gently blend it out. Now take a look at this Longwear Cream Shadow Stick. This is in the one Iced. So that is iced. So it definitely got quite a bit of bling there. Now I have quite a few of these other Bobbi Brown, these shadow sticks as well. They are easy to apply. They blend out beautifully. Really great for one and done type of shades because there are a good variety of shades in there. and they also last really well with my oily skin. And because I'm going to put this in my inner corner and it is quite wide because it's used for putting on your lid, I'm just going to grab the Refer number 3, take a little bit off, and I'm going to apply it to my inner corner that way. So we'll just pop some on. It'll probably go more subtle with it as well using a brush. So I'm just going to take a little bit more, just pop that on the inner corner. Put on a little bit of eyeliner and my mascara, and the liner that I use today is the reformulated. This is the Dior Show one, and today I use the one in, I think it's matte grey, and I think it goes really well with this color story, and it is super pretty. You could just use one or two, or even just one of the shadows just to get a one and done look, or just a couple at a time, but using all the ones that I did, I think gives a really beautiful eye look. So now for blush, I'm actually going to stay with the eyeshadow palette, and I'm going to use this shade down here. I think this is going to look really pretty. I'm going to go quite easy with it though. So I'll just tap in there again, and that looks beautiful as a blush. Really, really pretty. It comes out almost as a mauve. It looks really, really good. I often do that with eyeshadow palettes. If there's a matte shade that I think looks really pretty, then I try it on the cheeks, and 9 times out of 10 it usually works. Now I'm going to go back to this Sublimage, the primer, because you can also use this as just a very subtle highlight as well. So I've just put a little bit on the back of my hand, probably a little bit too much actually, and I'm just going to just pop some on my cheekbones. It doesn't seem to be lifting the blush that I've just put on, and it just gives, like I said, it's just the most subtle highlight. It is there, but super subtle. And of course, because it's that beautiful formula, it's very, very flattering on my mature skin. It's really gorgeous. Now, because this is so subtle, I'm also going to put a little bit down the bridge of my nose as well. And I'll use up what's on my hand and just pop a little bit up here as well. And then I picked up a new to me shade in the Dior Addict range, and this is a case that was released, I think it was it last year or the year before? It's hard to remember with all the new releases, but it is a really beautiful white. And the shade that I got is called Beige Oblique, and I thought it looked beautiful. Had that beige colour in it, but also with quite a bit of pink as well. So there it is swatched, and I think it's going to look really pretty. Really beautiful shade, and I think it goes really well with this eye look as well. It really suits that Bobbi Brown colour story. So this is the finished look, and I think it looks really pretty. Love the Bobbi Brown eyeshadow palette. Also love it that you can use it as a blush as well. That beautiful rosy dusty shade almost comes out a bit mauve on the cheeks, but really gorgeous. And I am loving this Chanel primer so far. Really gorgeous, and love it as a really subtle highlight as well. And the new Dior lipstick, the new to me shade, it's just beautiful. I love those lipsticks that have that, the beige, they've got that little bit of pink in as well. Just absolutely gorgeous. So now I'm going to take you down just for a little bit, just to the bottom of our property. I may even take you down our driveway as well. We've got quite a long driveway. I'm not sure yet whether I'll walk down or take the quad bike, but I've just got to sort a few things out up here, and then I'll meet you outside. So I've decided that I'm going to go down on the bike, and as you can see, nothing fancy in the form of wear. I've got my gumboots on and just my jeans. I wear jeans nearly every single day. And that little bark that you heard, that is Ted, and he is a border collie, and just after my dad passed, we took him to our place. We've got the 2 other dogs as well. We've got the Newfoundland Reuben and also the Bloodhound Patriot. So we'll go down to the bottom of the property on the quad bike. It may be a little bit shaky, the filming of this on the way down, but we'll just see how it goes.
He rode in on a horse named Trigger from a town just east of the Mississippi River, and saw her standing there in a little blue dress. She was the prettiest girl he ever did see, but she almost wouldn't let him buy her a drink, 'cause her dad said ace high girls don't talk to cattle hands. But she took his arm, and then when they shared the sweetest kiss, he brought his pipe up to his lips and said, all the stars in the eastern sky couldn't bring me back. But he left her in the morning without a goodbye or a warning, all alone with a broken heart and missing flags, and a soft spot for cowboys and lone jacks. She swore off men and cursed his name, 'cause the stars, they never look the same as the night she spent laying on his chest. The townsfolk just gave her pity, so her parents found a boy from New York City, and she had no choice but to say yes. But even then, she couldn't forget when they shared the sweetest.
So just had a quick look at the paddock down here. It looks like the girls, I think, are up by the hill. They may come down, but what I'll do is we've got our chickens down here as well. So I'll take you and show you the girls as well. It is such a beautiful day. I think you can see just how gorgeous of a day it is here. It's really, really beautiful, and there's this just very, very slight breeze. It's absolutely gorgeous. So here are the girls. We've got 8 in total. We've got 1 or 2 at the moment, I think, that are a little bit broody. I'm just trying to count them. I think they're going to be fed, but they've had breakfast this morning. And of course, they've got this huge area here as well. So they usually get a little bit of extra feed just in the mornings and in the evenings as well. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 here. And then there's a couple more over there by the tree. They're acting a little bit shy, but I can assure you that they are not. So I think we might have 1 or 2 in the hutch as well, and they could even be laying, so who knows. And then just over there is an old water trough. I'll take you up there, and it's got these little steps on it, so they step up on there so they can have their water. And just up over there, can you see? I don't know whether you can. There's a little rabbit there as well. So I'm just going to go over to the other side of the orchard, and we'll just take a look and see if we can see Blossom and Tinkerbell. Now over here, these 2 trees, this one over here and this one just over here as well, I'll walk towards it. These are plum trees, and they give the most beautiful fruit in the middle of summer, and they've just come out, so the blossoms have dropped and now all the leaves have come out, and it just looks really beautiful. And then of course we've got the beehives there. Those aren't ours. There's a beekeeper that looks after them, and these are his breeding bees, but really good to have next to our orchard as well. So I'm not too sure where Tinkerbell and Blossom are. They're probably up in the hill, probably laying down somewhere. So over there, that's just one of our neighbours, and because our house is way up on the hill, they're a long way from us. But I'm just seeing if I can see them. They're probably just sitting down somewhere. Usually what they do is when it gets hot, the oak tree, you can see it's just starting to come out into leaf now, and it gives this beautiful shade. So in the middle of the summer when it's really hot, the two girls, they usually sit under this tree in the middle of the day. But today they remain elusive. I can't see where they are. They're probably either wading. There's a little pond way over there. Sometimes they're wading through that, and other times they just find a shady little spot to sit down, or they might be right up on top of the hill and grazing up there. So you're not going to be able to see them today, but I will try in the next vlog to get them down a bit closer to here so you can take a good look at them. So I've just counted them up out here, and we've got 6 chickens down here, one little girl there, and the other girls over here. Now 6 out of the 8 chickens, they are laying chickens, and we're getting 6 eggs a day at the moment, so they're going really well. 2 of the girls, they're probably about 7 or 8 years old, so their laying days are over, but they're just here to live out their retirement. But we'll take a look over at the chicken hutch and just see if they're in the part where they lay the eggs. Like I said, at least one of them is a bit broody at the moment, and really what broody means is they think that they're going to have a baby, but they're not. It's something to do with their internal temperature, and it usually takes a week or 2 for their broodiness to go. So we're just going to have a look, see what's going on. There's 3 eggs there now, and I'll just hook this one up and we'll take a look at the other side. And here is the other side. I don't want to open it too much in case they're in there. I don't want to disturb them. So I'm just, oh yeah, there we go. There's the 2 girls there. Now the darker one, she's the one I think that's a bit broody at the moment. The other one's probably maybe broody as well, or in the process of laying an egg. So I'll just close these back down and leave them in peace for a little while. And just over here, we've done some planting in the raised gardens. There's another bit over there, it's quite a bit, and we've got quite a few different vegetables. We're just trying out. I've actually also planted for the first time this year some jalapenos, because I go through a lot of them in my salad, so hopefully we'll have luck with the jalapenos. And there's a few other new ones in there as well. We've got capsicums and just a few other bits and pieces as well. And just through here, this is the grapevine, and it is just starting to come out in leaf. And once this all comes out, this walkway here, so this goes through to where the chickens are over there, this is all covered in those vines, and it is just really beautiful in the summertime. Then over here is just one of our hydrangeas. We have a lot up by the house, and they are cut right back in the winter to hardly any length at all, just very short. They are hacked right back, and then in the springtime, of course, they all come out, and in the middle of summer it's going to be even bigger still, and you're going to get all these beautiful flowers, but they're looking really healthy. So that's going to look really gorgeous once that all comes out. So that's it for today's video. Unfortunately you didn't get to see the 2 Highland girls, Blossom and Tinkerbell, but hopefully next time that I decide to do a vlog, they will be a bit more helpful and be in the bottom paddock down there. So that's it for today's video, and I will see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.